Curious about the legendary cookies that vanished from American cookie jars? From Hello Dollies to Spritz Cookies, not a crumb was left behind. But today, they are back in the bake. Let's warmly welcome them back. Hostess's Ding Dong Cookies were an unforgettable snack for any kid who grew up visiting grocery stores with their parents in the 1970s. Two cookies sandwiching the creamiest and sweetest filling, wrapped in foil, made for an after-school snack kids could not let go of. Ding Dongs were so incredibly popular that they were one of the company's best-selling and most advertised products. Commercials for the cookies played bell sounds so that children would never forget the name of the cookies. Despite how delicious and widespread Ding Dong cookies were, they eventually did fall from grace. Shelves stopped having them as America moved on to snacks like classic chocolate chip cookies. If you thought cookies with cream fillings were a good layered snack, then try Hello Dollies. 7 cookie layers, each comprising its own distinct flavor, made for one explosively addictive and cheap cookie pack you could snack on. People would have packets of these in their cupboards and drawers, and the cookie was sold at marts everywhere. As with all snacks, many parents were dissatisfied with the number of cookie layers and the amount of sugar used. Layers of graham crackers, chocolate chips, and butterscotch chips definitely caused a sugar rush. Eventually, Hello Dollies lost their appeal in the market because of health concerns and newer variations of layered cookies. Do not be mistaken, the 90s definitely had their fair share of straightforward cookies like Sunshine Lemon Coolers. Making for a perfect evening tea snack, you could find these light-colored and lemon-flavored biscuits on every family table. Sunshine Lemon Coolers had an appetizing appearance and an even more enticing fragrance that made the cookie popular amongst adults and elderly people. Remembered as one of the most popular lemon-flavored cookies, they had a zesty grip on American households for a long while. Nowadays, they are more of a forgotten name as adults started to prefer plain vanilla crackers over sweet lemon cookies. If you are lucky enough, an old relative may tell you what the Sunshine Lemon Coolers tasted like, but that is the only mention of the cookie left on family tables today. Thumbprint cookies were quite famous amongst children, unlike the Sunshine Cooler. Baked with sugar cookie dough, mixed with more sugar, and sprinkled with just a bit more of sugar, this cookie made for a sweet snack. Conceptually, they sound like plain old sweet cookies, but families put their own twists on how they ate the treat. Usually, these would be made with raspberry or strawberry jam fillings that you could pick and spread on your cookie. People would mix and match different fillings, making their own trademark thumbprint cookie, and it was extremely common as a Christmas or Halloween snack. Plates of customized cookies were devoured by children and adults alike. In due course, the cookies lost popularity amongst customers because of newer cookie alternatives. Spritz Cookies followed in the footsteps of Thumbprint Cookies by being customizable in terms of shape. Very versatile and fun to bake, these cookies were one of the best snacks to prepare and bring to your friend's home. Families enjoyed baking trays of these, and people had all kinds of mixes and variations for the cookie. Almond extract to vanilla filling and chocolate chips, everything you can imagine probably went into a Spritz cookie at some point. Despite their obvious fun factor and unique taste, Spritz cookies would not last much in American homes. Many ultimately just stopped growing fond of playing around with cookie dough to see what shape you could bake next. Snackwell Cookies was a brand so common that you could stop at just about any neighborhood and find a box of these cookies. Snackwells were affordable, decently portioned and tasty, while maintaining a specific flavor people associated with munching foods. Interestingly, the cookies were famous less for their taste and more for the crunchy texture people enjoyed. This continued until Snackwell's cookies were named as a reason for weight gain in studies during the 1990s. As with any snack, when people come to love one too much, they tend to throw caution to the wind. Snackwell cookies were no exception, even when they were named as a leading cause for weight gain. As a consequence, the beloved brand saw a steep decline for a healthier future in exchange for a less tastier present. Magic Middies from the 70s was equally as beloved by families as Snackwell. Among the large and competitive American cookie market with commercialized brands battling homemade recipes, few could claim a steady spot at the top. Magic Middies were famous in households, and for good reason, as the fudge and peanut butter on the crispy shortbread made for a delicious snack. Gaining an immense amount of popularity amongst people, Magic Middies became a part of family dinner tables as people started creating their own home-baked versions. As America popularized packaged and canned snacks over recipes like this, Magic Middies became a forgotten cookie. Family tables now featured packaged chocolate chip cookies in place of the flavorful Magic Middies. Few names cement themselves at the very top, like Sunshine Hydrox did. As far as cookie careers go, Hydrox cookies had a historical run that would be comparable today to names like Oreo. Starting off in 1908 and being discontinued in 1999, Sunshine Hydrox was the original cream-filled cookie sandwich made with 2 chocolate cookies. The snack reached such high popularity that putting Hydroxes on the grocery list became a standard practice for most Americans. Saying that they were in every house in America would be a bit of an understatement. Popularity of that level makes you think what made it fall off, and Leaf brands actually discontinued it for reasons you would not expect. Leaf brands wanted to diversify their products and change their image, therefore they eventually discontinued Sunshine Hydrox. Known for being just what you needed to satisfy a sweet tooth up, Mexican wedding cookies are as festive as they sound. Famous for their tantalizing buttery flavor that would give strong aftertastes of pecan, wedding cookies were a fan favorite of wedding guests across the 90s. Kneaded into balls and baked in powdered sugar that made for a food coma-inducing sweetness, they were the go-to option if you wanted a snack that could qualify as a dessert. Long functions like weddings also often left people tired, and so hosts would serve these cookies to keep people's energy up. Naturally, sugar only benefits you like that in small doses, and in extremely over-the-top sugar snacks like Mexican wedding cookies, it can be pretty calorically heavy. America would grow to leave little space for food like that in its diet soon, so this became a bygone cookie. If you ever wanted to apologize to someone or cheer them up in a really cute but sweet way, you'd make them Giggles. No, you would not make them laugh. You would just get a pack of Giggles. Adorable with their smiley face design, the cookie came with various dual fillings like vanilla and chocolate Giggles. For long were cookies associated with plain designs or bland-looking appearances, as Giggles went after their primary audience, young children, and targeted them with cookies that looked like smiley faces. For some reason, a smiley face drives children wild, and suddenly the cookie was extremely successful. Giggles were common enough that you could get them dirt cheap, so most people would not really make them much at home. Picking some up after school or as a lunch to pack for your kids was part of routine back then. Still, this was a very basic design in retrospect. Makes sense that the cookie did not last long in markets. Speaking of appearances and design, iced animal cookies took it a step further than just an emoji pasted onto a cookie. Ever heard of dino-shaped nuggets and wondered what made them that popular? Iced animal cookies introduced that same idea and proved that animal-shaped cookies could be popular treats. Covered in a really sweet frosting and coming in packs that would have various shapes, these were just like Giggles in the sense that their target audience was also children. Naturally, popular brands who sold iced animal cookies took notice of growing popularity and came out with cuter packaging that attracted children. Sadly, they could not work that magic on the sands of time because these cookies are a rarity in stores today. Concepts of shaping cookies in familiar figures is still something brands do, but this particular cookie faded out. Keebler fudge sticks were not cute, but they definitely tasted incredible. Wafer cookies that were covered in Keebler's iconic fudge, the recipe for which they guard as closely as their life, would captivate the taste buds of everyone, especially in the 1970 to 1990s period. Keebler's cookie itself was airy and light, breaking apart in your mouth perfectly and quick enough for the delicious and thick fudge to cover your senses. Ahead of you, then, was a straightaway trip to Flavortown, as the next 5 minutes would be blissful. People loved having the cookie while watching movies or as a snack they kept around in their backpacks wherever they went. Everyone had a fond evening with a Keebler fudge stick and had the cookie stocked up in their homes. Present day, there might not be people out there who remember them since they fell off so long ago. Vienna Fingers had a similar popularity as fudge sticks, even though the tastes were starkly different. These vanilla-flavored cream-filled sandwich cookies really do not need much of an explanation as to why they were a bestseller among the masses. Vienna Fingers took vanilla as a primary flavor and expressed it in 3 different ways. A vanilla-flavored cookie sandwiching a cream filling of the same taste that made an altogether different sensation once you were munching. Keeblers struck gold once again with these, and they were available in various sizes for affordable prices. However, they would not last very long on their product list as Keeblers eventually deemed them to be too sweet to keep up with evolving tastes. Back to chocolate, which is a flavor America is all too familiar with, we have chocolate wafers. Keeblers had a horse in this race as well with their chocolate wafers that had bits of sugar mixed in. Other popular brands included Mother's and Nabisco, which people may remember seeing in grocery stores back in the day. Having the appeal that wafers usually do, these cookies were airy and crisp, but packed with a rich, dark chocolate filling. Chocolate wafers were a perfect party menu option to serve up or something to have for a Saturday night hangout. Though extremely popular, chocolate-ware would not last forever because now people consider chocolate wafer cookies a little too basic to regularly consume. Pillsbury Fudge Jumbles were the go-to snack for many people who preferred light and airy cookies. Easy to make and something you definitely will not regret planning a shopping trip for. These cookies were a stellar addition to baking routines across America. Fudge Jumbles were a staple of menus for home chefs across the U.S. because they could be made with ingredients you had on hand or ones you could easily order. Chocolate chips or almond nuts, peanut butter filling, or dark chocolate, the ideas were endless with this cookie. Shortbread cookies or oatmeal cookies were popular picks for the cookie base. Sadly, this easy-to-make cookie lost its popularity amongst home chefs as newer and complex cookie recipes were invented. Recipes for authentic Pillsbury Fudge Jumbles are something you would not find nowadays, and if you do, they are likely modified for the modern palate. You might have noticed that a lot of the cookies on this list died out because they were not healthy enough. Luckily, iced oatmeal cookies would not share the same fate. Towards the 1980s, America had a hunger for snacks that were tasty but did not make the average Joe guilty about calories. People wanted to eat without worrying about gaining a few pounds. Since the public had sentiments like that in mind, healthier alternatives of already tried and tested recipes like iced cookies came about. Iced oatmeal cookies were a tasty replacement, and they were up to the mark in terms of being healthy. Without worrying about how much sugar they were having, people could chow down on a soft oatmeal cookie with a sweet, sugar-free frosting. The health experts might have given wind to the popularity of oatmeal cookies, but people eventually went back to their good old chocolate chip cookies. A bit on the fancier side, we have English tea cookies, which were the perfect complement to your evening tea. English tea cookies were great to have over a cup of tea with a friend or at a get-together as a casual afternoon snack to keep your appetite tucked. Situational versatility like that made them really popular, since whenever you were thinking you could use a nice, light snack, English tea cookies were there. America was not always fond of cookies like these or tea in general, and it was largely an imported trend. British, who would come to settle in America, brought the custom cookies with them. Once locals saw the tea biscuits, they normalized them and soon saw how good cookies and tea really can be. However, old habits die hard, as American citizens would not have such a fancy afternoon snack often, as the 2000s dawned on the U.S. preferring their usual superstore brands like Hostess. Peanut Butter Crunch cookies are a testament to how America clings to its food choices. Despite how tamer lunches like English tea cookies got popular, the classic appeal of a peanut butter cookie just never went out of style. Most people kept up appearances when they were feeling sociable by ordering some fancy light biscuits to go with their tea. All the while, deep down, they would be craving a peanut butter crunch cookie. Yes, there were genuine fans of both styles of cookie, but one just did well with everyone. Kids to old folk, there was not anybody who could turn a peanut butter crunch down, especially during Saturdays where the Super Bowl would be on. A long-lost family tradition now, but back then in the 1970s, it was common to have bowls of peanut butter crunch while matching matches. Another really popular local pick was almost home cookies. Nabisco would have flavors that were hits with most folk back in the day, like peanut butter fudge and apple walnut or banana walnut. Almost Home Cookies had a wide range of flavors, and that was really its strongest point, as maybe the cookie was not your favorite, but the brand had something for everyone's palate, which made it incredibly easy to spread to the mainstream. Almost too easy because these cookies became rather infectious at a point. Peaking at around the 1960s, they were a common sight if you were strolling down any street. Nowadays, you could go by the same streets and not find a single packet. If you thought Girl Scout cookies could do no wrong, then you might not have met the zesty underdog, Savannah Smiles. These delightful, lemon-flavored cookies dusted with powdered sugar tried to make winter feel like summer. Introduced in the early 2010s to celebrate the Girl Scouts anniversary, they were shaped like a smile, brightening snack time with their tart and sweet profile. Marketed as a lighter, refreshing option, Savannah Smiles brought a citrusy twist to the cookie roster. Yet, despite their sunny disposition, they didn't stick around. Many speculate that the fierce competition from other Girl Scout cookie giants overshadowed them, or perhaps America just wasn't ready to smile back at these lemony treats. Like the fleeting Savannah breeze they were named after, these cookies disappeared from the lineup, leaving just a sprinkle of sugar in their wake. As you can tell, America has a very rich history of beloved cookies. Did you spot any of your personal favorites? If you did, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe.